Hey guys, welcome back to Puck Talk. Today we'll be discussing the playoff predictions of the Eastern Conference and which teams we think will make it in and which teams will miss. So let's get right into it.
Yeah,
We already know the locks of the division,
yeah.
so let's just start out with the Atlantic.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
There's not much there. It's Boston, Toronto, Tampa. They're in.
Yeah,
Nothing,
yep.
nothing else
yeah.
to. Yeah, nothing else to add to that.
Buffalo, Florida, and Ottawa are still in the race, while the Metro teams are sliding. So that's an interesting final month or so that we'll get to see from these teams, like which teams can actually make it in and which teams miss.
Do we think the Rangers are locked too? I know Canes and Jersey
I think the Rangers are a lock. I don't think
The
they're sticking
for,
out.
for the
the
third
Rangers
spot
are
in the
gonna
Metro.
literally be a lock.
I mean,
Okay,
they can't slip out at this point in the season.
yeah. Okay, so pretty much what we have here is Islanders, Pens, Florida, and Ottawa. Who do we
And
think?
yeah, I mean,
Buffalo.
Buffalo could
That
still
those teams are the
Buffalo.
most
Oh, a lock.
probable.
Buffalo choked.
Yeah, but they're not that far off. They're only 6 points behind
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. But yeah, I would in and Washington's there too.
Yeah, Washington sold at the deadline, which is surprising, but they do have two more games played than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean them and Florida have the same amount.
Yeah, true, true.
I
But
think
I think Pens make it for sure.
I think Pens make it. I think Islanders might lose out to Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think Islanders will make it. Ottawa's like the hottest team in the league right now. I think they'll do
Yeah,
well.
if
But
Ottawa they're not far apart. Ottawa, if they win their next 3 games, they'll have a better rec. Like they'll have the same amount of points as the Islanders, so they could definitely sneak in there.
yeah.
Which I don't know how I feel about that one. It's gonna be the first time in like almost 5 years both Ontario teams have made it in the playoffs.
They might they hopefully they worse each other for your sake. But
I don't think that's happening, but
I think Ottawa's a first
Yeah,
one for
well,
the
we like currently as of right now, like the wild card's still up for grabs. The only for sure team I could possibly think is like still just the Pens making it in.
yeah. I mean, the Pens did have that. I mean, they don't look legit in my opinion. Like the Pens have had these long stretches where they just can't get their game going. Even with Crosby, Malkin, and these guys, like they look rough around the edges. So it'll be interesting to see them in the playoffs again, what they do. But I think their wild card spot at least is secure.
Well, I think Pens the last two times they made it to in the playoffs, they lost to the Eastern Conference team that went no sorry, the team that went to the Eastern Conference final.
Yes, they lost to both New York teams,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And they both made it to this. So like I think the Pens are better than like their playoff record suggests.
Okay, but then if the Pens make it, they're either playing Boston or Carolina round one,
Yeah, I
which
They
think
is
don't
a
win
death
again.
sentence.
There's no world where they beat in a 7 game series.
Yeah, like that's a death sentence.
yeah.
But like we know that they're gonna make the playoffs, just that we just know that they're not gonna go like
Okay,
too
so
far.
we give Pens one of the spots, and the second spot I think we agreed Ottawa gets, right?
Yeah, Ottawa versus Boston.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
To be fair, Ottawa is one of those teams that has shut down Boston pretty well this year. Like I
Yeah.
think they've done decently well against Boston. So I mean that'll be an interesting series. It all come down to goaltending, in which I think Boston has an edge because I don't think Cam Talbot and Sogard are getting it done. And Forsberg is out for a while.
Hey,
Okay.
I just bring up Tampa versus Columbus. Anything can happen.
Uh, I sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's hope not for Bruins fans, eh?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think any other fan base really likes the Bruins, so
Yeah, so that's okay. That's okay.
yeah.
So moving on to the Western Conference. It's much less competitive there. I mean, the teams are worse off. So while there is a sort of a race, they're not as good. So
Yeah.
we see the wild card teams, Edmonton, Winnipeg. Winnipeg is currently slipping. They've what they've what won and they've won one in their last 13 or something like that,
Yeah.
which is not good. This is terrible. And
Let's
Edmonton's actually getting better. Their acquisition of Ekholm actually really helped them. So
Mm,
yeah. Let's
they could
just go
sneak
through the
into
loss
the
first, right?
Pardon?
Let's just go to the playoff locks first, and then we can go to wild card, I think, right?
Yeah.
Wait, so Dallas, Minnesota, Vegas, King,
Colorado.
Colorado, you'd add them to that list?
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
doing
I
pretty
would. I would.
Okay. And then Seattle, Seattle and Edmonton, I think, are both in too.
well. I think they're in the playoffs, but like, yeah, Seattle might lose their spot in the top three.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think there's only one wild card spot open in the West. That's the only thing that's gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not
And
okay. So like it's between the Jets and the Flames pretty much for that spot.
yeah.
Jets are
Actually Preds too. Preds have a better chance than
Preds have been like
Flames.
sort
Preds have
like
a better point percentage than the Flames. So
Yeah.
mm,
And Calgary just lost to the Ducks. Or I don't know
there's
when
3 minutes left in the third. So yeah,
what's the score?
2-1 Ducks.
Okay.
So I think Calgary's kind of shooting themselves in the foot because Winnipeg has been on a slide right now. But
Calgary actually has the easiest schedule out of all three of these teams: Winnipeg, Calgary, Nashville. And
Oh.
unfortunately, they're not taking advantage of this current game. But like, they have quite an easy schedule up ahead. Like they play Arizona, Anaheim again, San Jose, Vancouver, and Chicago, among some other teams. So
holy, that's a
they,
pretty bad schedule.
yeah, so I mean, the real contenders they play are maybe Dallas, LA, Vegas, and Nashville if you want to count them. And that's it. Like those are the really tough teams that they play, and that's it. So I mean, if they capitalize on these chances, obviously they're not doing too well right now, but I think Flames could make it in. They have a chance.
Gun to your head, who you pick out of those three? I personally go with Preds because I like them.
Um,
I
Preds did sell at the deadline, but I think Saros can carry them to that playoff.
I believe in the fact that the Flames are gonna choke and the Preds are gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna disagree. I'm gonna say Flames do make it. I think there's way too much talent on that team to keep losing consistently to bad teams like this. And I think the goaltending has been shaky as of late. But yeah, I think Flames do pick themselves up and put it back together and try to get in that race.
Yeah. No love
Because
for
otherwise,
Winnipeg here.
because otherwise, like
Okay,
with that
let's
deadline too, like they stood pat. They said they believe in this group, and if they don't get anything done, then I don't know, man. Like another 8 years of darkness might be coming for Flames fans because of those Huberto contract.
Yeah. I guess Flames are like they're gonna try the hardest out of these three teams, I think.
Yeah, because
because
Preds.
they don't really have an option considering
Yeah.
what their like like their off season was looking.
Preds might
Yeah,
actually show though. I don't think they're because okay, I think if the Preds do make it, I think Preds have the highest chance of making it, but they'll do the worst in the playoffs. Out of
yeah.
these two.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Like
so
I mean, I would not mind a Vegas Winnipeg Vegas Calgary series. That could be really high octane.
yeah. Yeah,
But
so
like,
nobody likes Winnipeg in this podcast though.
yeah, I
I
mean
Winnipeg's out.
Winnipeg.
well, I just think that out of all the teams that we're currently talking about, Winnipeg has just been on the slide. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure their last 10's like 2-7-1, I think.
2-6-2.
Close enough.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's
That's
well,
horrendous.
I don't know. I just feel like that they're gonna like I just feel like that's gonna snowball for them continuing
Yeah.
on from this point.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean, Winnipeg decided to not go for defense at the deadline, and they continually choose to give Logan Stanley minutes, and I think that's where the problem stems. So I mean, this backslide, while it's really concerning, I mean, I kind of saw it coming once I knew they didn't do any like major defensive reworks on the deadline. Helba could only carry you so far. I mean,
yeah.
he's not a Vasilevsky type goalie. He's elite for sure, but I don't think he's on that pedigree where he can carry you through the playoffs and get you that cup.
Yeah, I don't think like what are you doing if you're not trying to win a cup?
Yeah,
Like it's not like the Winnipeg Jets are rebuilding or anything. I think they definitely should have gone for something at the deadline.
and this is their like one of their best seasons they've had in a while.
Yeah,
Like
they
after
they, they
after
had a really good like almost start to the season and
Yeah,
midpoint
they
through
were
the season
really
they were
good.
still pretty good.
I
Now
mean,
they're
in the
playing.
Canadian division, in the Canadian division, they did all right. They beat Edmonton. They lost in the second round. I mean, since like 2018 when they made the conference finals, it was 2018, right? Or yeah,
17,
2018.
18.
Yeah, it was 2018. Ever since they made the conference finals, they've really done nothing, like at all. I mean, their roster's changed a lot, but like, yeah, I think Jets should have pushed harder. That's a team I'm disappointed to see go out because they do have a lot of skilled talent.
Yeah, Ehlers, Connor, those guys are really good, but I think they do need some defense. All they got is Morrissey really and Pionk back there, right?
Yeah, and Morrissey's more of an offensive guy. He's taking that huge step. That's why they're so good at scoring. But like, yeah, they've got Logan Stanley, like Brendan Dillon, who are okay replacement guys, but they're not like locks. They were one of the teams that were like that should have been on Jake McCabe, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think they have the assets to go for something like Chikrin too. If
Yeah,
the price for Chikrin wasn't that high.
I
Yeah.
think I think Arizona's banking on Ottawa to miss playoffs.
I think these three guys they're gonna battle out at I think it's between Nashville and Calgary after we've discussed.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's what we think, of course.
The West is
So-
surprisingly
so-
boring this year.
So just to preview the matchups that I think would happen, I think for the East, obviously, I think Boston, Boston, Ottawa, which is high octane. I mean, there's going to be a lot of scoring in that series.
Yeah.
Toronto, Tampa, the usual suspects. Calgary, Pittsburgh, not Calgary, Carolina, Pittsburgh, which is a bloodbath, unfortunately. New Jersey and New York Rangers.
That's gonna be good.
Yes!
That's gonna be a good series. That's gonna be a really good series.
Yes! Oh, that's gonna be so fun actually to watch. I can't. I want to see
Yeah.
that so bad.
That's gonna be a really good series to watch. And yeah, so I mean, and for the West, obviously, it'll be
West
Dallas.
it's a throw. Like they're separated by 1 point, Dallas and Vegas.
Yeah. So I mean, let's assume Vegas gets the higher of those two, and they get the first position in that conference, because that's what the standings look like right
Yeah.
now. So Dallas Oilers, which Ottinger versus Skinner, two young goalies. That's gonna be a good battle. And then Vegas, Calgary, or Vegas, Nashville, or Vegas, Winnipeg, one of those three.
Mhm.
And then LA, Seattle, and Minnesota, Colorado. All
That-
really good matchups.
I think Vaughn gonna get killed in that last series.
Yeah.
don't
I think Seattle could actually win against LA, but I think Wild are kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually true.
I think they're kind of going to Tampa mode, not trying in regular season anymore. They're gonna come alive.
Yeah.
In the
They're gonna
Tampa
get
is
fun-
on a slide though. Tampa is on a slide this year. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the worst slide they've been on in like a long time, I think,
Yeah. That's
which
the
is kind of fun to see, but you never know. You never know what.
You never know.
I believe in them.
There has been a certain reputation with the Leafs in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
You
Leafs
know.
and losing to not that great teams, has happened. So
Yeah.
playoff time is really close. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good series of matchups.
All
yeah.
right.
It's that there's actually meaningful games this year. Because last year the East was done, by this time.
Yeah, like the wild cards were locked in.
Yeah.
This year it's gotten a lot more competitive.
Yeah. Like I turned the games on. Like I watched the Ottawa, Florida, Pittsburgh games, Otherwise I never watched those teams.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean-
that does it for this video.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye.